Imagine this chilling scenario. North Korea launches a nuclear bomb. What happens next? From the moment the launch button is pressed, a sequence of events unfolds that could change the course of history. The missile, most likely a Hwasong type, hurtles into the sky. North Korea's Hwasong series intercontinental ballistic missiles are known for their long-range capabilities. Some can travel over 7,500 miles. That's enough to hit practically any target worldwide. This missile, now a harbinger of potential destruction, ascends rapidly, reaching an altitude higher than the International Space Station in just a few minutes. The missile's engines roar to life, burning at temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. It's an incredible display of technological might, a testament to North Korea's advances in missile technology over the past few decades. Once the missile reaches its peak altitude, the engines cut off. The missile coasts along its trajectory in a state of freefall, guided by onboard computers and navigational systems. This phase, known as the mid-course phase, can last up to 20 minutes. It's a nerve-wracking period of uncertainty, as the missile's trajectory and ultimate target remain unknown to those watching from afar. Finally, the missile begins its descent, re-entering the Earth's atmosphere at speeds of over 15,000 miles per hour. At this point, the missile's warhead, potentially armed with a nuclear payload, separates from the rest of the missile. This is the terminal phase, the final few minutes before potential impact. The timescale we're talking about here is incredibly short. From launch to impact, we're looking at approximately 30 to 40 minutes. That's less time than it takes to watch a single episode of your favorite TV show. In that short span of time, the fate of entire cities, of millions of people, could be decided. And so we find ourselves at the precipice of a terrifying possibility. A nuclear launch from North Korea, while still hypothetical, is a situation that has the potential to shake the very foundations of our global society. In just a matter of minutes, the world as we know it could change forever. So, the missile is in the air, but how quickly would we know about it? You might be surprised to learn that detection would be nearly instantaneous. The moment a missile is launched, it leaves a heat signature that is detectable by satellites orbiting Earth. These satellites, part of the U.S. Defense Support Program, are equipped with infrared sensors that can spot the heat of a missile launch. Once the missile launch is detected, the information is relayed to the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, a joint operation between the U.S. and Canada. Here, teams of military personnel and scientists work around the clock monitoring global missile activities. But it's not just satellites in play. Ground-based radar systems also play a crucial role. These radar systems, dotted across the globe, provide another layer of detection. They track the missile's trajectory, speed, and potential target, key information needed for the next step: interception. Now let's talk about the U.S. Missile Defense System. This system is designed to intercept and destroy incoming missiles in space before they reach their target. The Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense System, or GMD, is a crucial part of this. It deploys ground-based interceptor missiles from locations in Alaska and California. These interceptor missiles are not armed with explosives. Instead, they rely on kinetic energy, the energy of motion. The aim is to collide with the incoming missile in space, destroying it through sheer force of impact, a concept often described as hitting a bullet with a bullet. The decision to launch these interceptors isn't taken lightly. It's a process that involves the U.S. president and the top brass of the military. The president would be informed immediately, and a decision would need to be made in a matter of minutes. It's a decision that carries immense weight, with global implications. So, to answer the question, we'd know about a missile launch almost as soon as it happens. And the response, though complex and fraught with gravity, would be swift. With the missile detected, the countdown to impact begins. The missile has reached its target. What's the damage? Let's take a moment to comprehend the magnitude of this situation. The immediate effects of a nuclear bomb are unfathomably devastating. The moment of impact is marked by a blast wave that expands outward at a speed greater than the speed of sound. This causes a shock wave that can obliterate buildings, infrastructure, and anything else in its path. The blast radius, or the area of total destruction, is determined by the size of the bomb. For a typical nuclear bomb, the blast radius can extend several miles from the detonation point. Within this radius, virtually everything is demolished. The shockwave is followed by a wave of intense heat capable of setting entire cities ablaze. And let's not forget about the radiation. In the aftermath of the explosion, a large amount of radioactive material is released into the atmosphere. This radioactive fallout can spread over a wide area, contaminating everything it comes into contact with. The radiation can cause immediate illness in those exposed and can also lead to long-term health effects such as cancer. Now, let's discuss the human cost. The number of potential casualties depends on several factors, including the population density of the target area and the time of day. If a nuclear bomb were to detonate in a densely populated city during the day, when people are out and about, the death toll could reach into the hundreds of thousands. And this doesn't even include the countless others who would be injured or displaced by the explosion. The physical damage is equally extensive. Buildings would be flattened, infrastructure would be destroyed, and entire cities could be wiped off the map. The recovery process would be long and arduous, and the affected area might never fully recover. So, what's the damage? In short, it's catastrophic. The immediate effects of a nuclear bomb are nothing short of apocalyptic, causing widespread death and destruction. And the long-term effects, from the radiation and the physical damage, can linger for generations. In the blink of an eye, a city could be reduced to rubble. The bomb has detonated, but the devastation doesn't end there. In the wake of the explosion, the immediate physical damage is profound, yet it is only the beginning. The long-term effects of a nuclear explosion are far-reaching and devastatingly persistent. Radiation sickness, for instance, would become a grim reality for those in the vicinity of the blast and even beyond. This illness, also known as acute radiation syndrome, is caused by a high dose of radiation over a short period. Symptoms can range from nausea and vomiting to severe blood and neurological disorders. For many, this would be a fatal condition. But the radiation doesn't stay put. It lingers, carried by the wind and rain, seeping into the soil and contaminating water sources. This is what we call nuclear fallout. The areas affected by fallout can become uninhabitable for years, even decades. Homes, schools, hospitals, entire towns could be abandoned, their residents forced to flee, leaving their lives behind. And then, there's the potential for a nuclear winter. This is a theoretical scenario where the smoke and soot from a nuclear explosion rise high into the stratosphere, blocking out sunlight. This could lead to significant drops in temperature around the world, disrupting ecosystems and potentially leading to global famine. Relief efforts in the aftermath would be fraught with challenges. The radiation would not only pose a threat to survivors, but also to the rescuers. Decontamination would become a critical part of the process, making it difficult to deliver immediate aid. Medical facilities could be overrun, and the need for resources would be immense. And let's not forget the psychological trauma, the fear, the loss, the grief. They would linger long after the physical wounds have healed. In the end, the immediate blast is just the beginning. The true horror of a nuclear explosion lies in its aftermath, in the silent, invisible killer that is radiation, in the lives uprooted, the homes lost, the landscapes forever changed. Long after the blast, the world would still be feeling its effects. A nuclear bomb has been detonated. How does the world respond? This is the question that sends chills down our spines, but it's important to consider. In the wake of such an unthinkable event, the global response would be swift and multifaceted. Countries around the world would be forced to confront the reality of a nuclear attack and would have to make immediate decisions about how to respond. The first line of response would likely be military. Nations with nuclear capabilities, such as the United States, Russia, and China, might consider retaliatory strikes. This action would be aimed not only at neutralizing any further threat, but also at sending a strong message. The use of nuclear weapons is unacceptable and will be met with overwhelming force. Simultaneously, diplomatic actions would be taking place. The United Nations Security Council would likely convene an emergency session to address the crisis. The international community would be called upon to condemn the attack and to enact severe sanctions against the offending nation. But beyond the military and diplomatic responses, there would also be a significant humanitarian effort. Countries around the world would rally to provide aid to those affected by the attack. This could include medical assistance, food and water, and help with rebuilding. Non-governmental organizations, such as the Red Cross and Doctors Without Borders, would also play a crucial role in this effort. The global community would also need to address the long-term consequences of a nuclear attack. This would involve efforts to decontaminate affected areas and to help survivors cope with the psychological trauma of the event. The world would also have to grapple with larger questions about nuclear proliferation and the future of nuclear weapons. The event would serve as a grim reminder of the devastating power of these weapons and the need for their control and eventual elimination. In the aftermath of a nuclear attack, the world would have to come together to respond to the crisis. In a world that is often divided, a nuclear attack would demand unity and cooperation. It's a scenario we hope never unfolds, but if it does, the world's response would be a testament to our collective resilience and determination to preserve peace.